Hey y'all, welcome back to SB Designs. In today's video, we are making the Brambleberry Wild Rose Cold Process Soap Kit. Here's a quick review of the ingredients. Your instructions: lots of lather quick mix, sodium hydroxide, pink rose petals, rose gold mica, wild rose fragrance oil, sodium lactate, and one 10-inch loaf mold. In addition to those ingredients, you will need utensils to stir and mix your soap together, of course your PPE, and I've already prepared my lye solution. You'll want to start by melting and measuring out your quick mix oils. And then you'll also want to take a little bit of the oils and prepare your colorant. I used about a tablespoon here. I just mixed it up and set it to the side. When you're ready, pour your lye solution into your oils and start to blend. You'll want to blend until you reach emulsion or a light trace. I'm alternating between using my stick blender and my spatula. This is a very small amount of soap, and I don't want the soap to come together too quickly. I will be doing a swirl design, so I need the soap to be fluid enough for that. Also, this is the second batch of cold process soap that I've made, so I'm not exactly sure what to look for at this point, and I just kind of want to make sure I'm not missing when it's time to move on to the next step. Again, this was my second batch that I made. So the container that I just put my stick blender shaft in, that's just some warm water that I thought I would hold the shaft in, but I've since changed that whole process, and I'll talk about that in a future video. Once you've reached a light trace, you'll want to split off your batter into 2 containers so that you can color a portion of your batter. Again, I'll be doing a swirl design, so that's why I've got the 2 separate containers here. And I'm just mixing everything as well as I can. I want to make sure that colorant is fully dispersed, and then I'm going to add my fragrance oil. I'll be using all the fragrance oil included in the kit, and I'm just going to portion it out, fairly evenly across the 2 batches. Less in the pink because there's less batter in there. And again, I'm just going to stir each portion of batter really well to make sure that that fragrance oil is well incorporated. At this point, the batter is thickening up really well. It's about a pudding consistency at this point, and I know that it's like I don't want to wait too much longer because I don't want it to get too hard. I think I actually had plenty of time to work with the batter, but again, only my second batch of soap and I wasn't quite sure. Here I'm pouring in some of all of the the pink batter. And I'm just doing an in the pot swirl. Definitely need to work on this technique. However, I think it came out really well for this being my first time doing any kind of a swirl. The first batch I made just prior to this wasn't colored at all. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with the swirl design, and that in the pot swirl made it very easy to get that design. Once I've got all the batter poured in, I'm just going to smooth out the top. This kit makes the exact amount of batter you need to fill the 1 10-inch mold. I guess technically I could have had like the tiniest little bit left over, but really I think it's the formula, the recipe is planned out really well for this mold. I'm going to attempt to do a swirl on the top, but again, this just comes with practice, and just kind of playing around and figuring out what kind of swirls you like. Obviously, you need to have your batter at the right consistency in order for the swirl to hold. After several failed attempts, I just decided to texture the top which I don't think I'm gonna do going forward, but I think it worked out really well for this particular soap. I just wanted to kind of swirl a little bit and flatten out that hump in the top, just so I could have a nice area for the little rosebuds to go on top. I'm not quite sure about botanicals in future soaps. I think they look beautiful on the soap. However, botanicals are going to wash off in the first use, and they don't really add to the soap other than just a design element, which again is gorgeous. I'm just not sure if it's really something that I'm going to continue doing. I'm really pleased with the way the soap came out. You can see here it unmolds very easily from the silicone mold. That's due in part to the sodium lactate, but also I think the design of the mold is really well. It did make for very easy unmolding. And then, of course, waiting until the soap is ready to unmold, I think, is also important. It's kind of hard to see in this video, but there is a nice layer of soda ash on top of the soap, which I wasn't really happy about, but that's part of soap making, and I will continue to work on eliminating that in future batches. But here you can see the soap. It did go through gel. I think it made a very pretty soap. And then here we've got the lather test. The Lots of Lather quick mix does make a lot of lather, as you will be able to see in this little video here. What I noticed when I was working up the lather is that, you know, the more I kind of wet it, the bigger and the more lather I was able to work up. So I just thought, you know what, let me go for it and see how much I can actually make this thing bubble up. The other thing too is I'm using a very small amount of water here in this little bowl. And so the soap that's falling in the bowl, you know, it's not rinsing away. And so I thought it was really cool. I saw the lather in there. I thought, let me bubble it up, you know, as if it was in a bubble bath. And I was pretty impressed with how just a few turns of that soap got all of these really big bubbles in this little container. Now the soap does rinse clean, but you'll want to have, you know, clean water. This water here has all the soap in it, and so that's why it's not rinsing 100% clean, but it does rinse clean in fresh water. And here we've got our final glamour shot of the soap. I think it's beautiful. I'm very happy, especially with just being my second batch of cold processed soap. I think it did a great job. I loved the kit. It was super easy to put together. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.